speak to you about relationships and why relationships are so important for self-care. There are cycles in life and they keep repeating themselves if you're not becoming conscious about them and not able to actually intervene and change the cycles. These are in form of lessons. So we learn a lesson, and for example, you overgive or you're a people pleaser, and you will find the lesson that you will come across people who will use it and who will also take advantage of it. And when this happens, it is really up to us to figure out how to make an end to it and set our boundaries. In this case, the most important relationship here is not to the specific person. It is the relationship that we have with oneself and how we are able to nourish and nurture our own needs and take care of oneself, which stems again from self-love. And the more you love yourself, the more you will be able to walk out of situations that can be perceived as toxic, situations where you will not find reciprocity, situations where there is no equal balance between giving and taking. And you will find yourself noticing that you're overgiving. So what do? You walk out. And this is the way how we can end a specific cycle. We call them in the spiritual world a karmic cycle. Now, everything that I share with you is something that we all have experienced. Hence, there is a certain togetherness and connectivity between all of us. And there's a reason why we sometimes attract people in our lives that just mirror ourselves. And we will find a certain sense of toxicity also within ourselves. Why am I saying this to you? Is because we have to go away from judgment and stay always in discernment to understand that certain situations happen and they happen for a reason. Everything that I share with you is also things that I have experienced myself. So I'm trying as much as possible to walk the talk. And sometimes I find myself to also not be aligned. So that does not mean that here I am Mrs. Perfect. This is not the case at all. And it starts always with the relationship that we have with oneself. That is a reflection of the relationship that we attract within our professional and private lives. Relationships are so key for our vital life force. Meaning, if we come across energy vampires, and they do exist. So within the philosophy of yoga, we have multidimensional beings, which are us, and specific layers. And one important layer is the physical layer. That's pretty much the entry point on how we structure our self-care practice. The physical layer is the most tangible layer, which means, your body, your skin, your muscles, the food that you take in, but also the people you're surrounding yourself with, who can have an influence indirectly on your vibration, your frequency, and your cells. Meaning, if you're surrounding yourself by people who have not always the best intention at heart for themselves and for others, it will have also indirectly an effect on ourselves. And that's where certain diseases can take place within our body, because everything is vibration, frequency, energy, molecules, atoms. I'm here sitting in front of you, but I'm just a field of energy vibrating constantly. What I feel, if I feel the table or I feel the mobile, it's just the resistance that I have, the air between these molecules and my molecules and atoms in my finger. So we sometimes perceive that we are separate from each other, but no, we share energy. We share energy field. Now, if you're surrounding yourself with people who take, and you notice in your body something doesn't feel right, like a burning in your chest, your stomach feels upset, listen to these signs. That is your main physical, most tangible layer speaking to you and telling you something, a message, and communicating to you something is off. So next time when you find yourself in a situation, in an argument, a discussion, or entering a room, become really aware of what happens in your body and see how you feel and listen to it. Listen to it. And this is so important because we can prevent so many diseases if we start listening to what's happening in our body and become aware of how people or how we feel around certain people. If you feel drained when you wake up and you lie next to your partner and you feel even more exhausted than before. If you feel angry and you just realize, is this my anger or is this anger from someone else? This is really important for our own vital life force. That's energy. That's longevity in our life. That is preventing disease. So the relationship to ourselves is so important. Self-love. Understanding, what do you keep yourself up with? For the sake of what? For the sake of being loved by someone else who does not even love themselves? Let's just think about this. Namaste, Namaha.